The gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you. Briefly, does anyone on this panel believe that Senator Blackburn, Senator Graham, Senator Hagerty, Senator Hawley, Senator Johnson, Senator Lewis, Senator Sullivan, Senator Tupperville, or Congressman Mike Kelly are a risk to national security or would be reasonably believed to be a risk or should have been surveilled under a program targeting them? Seeing none, I will move on. They're my friends. They were targeted because they were Republicans. That is unforgivable, and the FBI cannot expect anything other than a consent decree and criminal punishment if they ever do it again. Anything less, and I'll go to Mr. Tolman, if you were prosecuting a case, would you accept anything less from somebody who committed that crime, assuming you're not locking him up for years for doing it in the beginning?
No, absolutely not. But our history shows, for example, in the attorney Kevin Kleinsmith, that he was prosecuted for his misrepresentation to the fisc, but received no jail time. So is there meaningful deterrence? And presently there is not.
Well, it is true that no one is above the law, but there's a caveat, unless you are the law. And unfortunately, the FBI and the Department of Justice are the law. And although I trust the current inhabitants, I trusted the Bush people, and I was wrong. I trusted each of the successors, and I was wrong. Let me just go through a couple of things sort of to put it in perspective, maybe for the record, and maybe for people who are truly lay people. If I wanted to find out if you were growing pot illegally in your house, and I flew over with a heat sensor and then determined that you had hot spots and then raided your house without a warrant, what would I be doing? Would that be okay?
No, it would not be okay.
And isn't it true that the Kylo decision by the court was right on that point? But in that, if I understand correctly, what they did is they said that the reason it was unacceptable versus, let's say, just flying over in an airplane and seeing plants growing in your backyard was because of the tools used, correct? Now, as we're talking about this data, is that kind of data available to Mr. Biggs or Mr. Jordan? So by definition, the first pillar of the Kylo decision, which is that the tools are not readily available to the public. This massive amounts of data and the ability to gather it, they wouldn't pay $100 million if it was available any other way, right? If they could just get it themselves. So they've met the first requirement. What is any second requirement that you can see that would allow them, having met the first requirement, that what they're getting is material, a tool, if you will, not available to the public? It's not ordinary eyesight. It's not just walking up and sniffing something at the door. If this tool is by definition special, then the use of the tool falls directly underneath this historic question of Fourth Amendment without anything else. Does anyone see a way that they can carve their way out of this? Yes.
Well, they will try to say that a lot of this information just isn't protected by the Fourth Amendment at all because we are voluntarily sharing it with.
But the Fourth Amendment, oh, you're absolutely right, and I agree with you. Except the Fourth Amendment, I personally...
I don't think that. You're not agreeing with me.
No, I agree with you that that's what they'll try to do. I personally have seen this tool that can pick up heat and water damage above your ceiling. My son has one. It's fabulous. It lets you find where you got a leaky pipe. It lets you find where there's a leak in your heating system. Every heating and air conditioning company either has one or should have one. But the fact that a special tool exists doesn't change the fact that it's a special tool, does it? And by the way, heat coming out of your house was never considered to be protected until the court said the tool and the source of the tool is what determines that. It's not an ordinary eyesight. So I'm going to close, Mr. Chairman, by saying shame on the court for not already having taken a case up and done this. But if they won't do it, this committee must do it in reauthorization, and I yield back.